gents, welcome back to the channel. So first and foremost, please excuse the mess in the shop. It's an absolute disaster. We've been working our tails off trying to get this 78 Trans Am done and ready for final paint. Now, I haven't done much content on the car on this channel, and the reason being is, well, it's not that fun to watch somebody sand a car. But in the coming months, as we're putting the motor back in it and the interior and getting ready to give it back to the client, I will be putting some content on the channel on the Trans Am. And I know Phil, who watches the channel religiously, will be excited to hear that. Fox body stuff, lots more to come here too. Got the 87 Dutch under the cover. But today's topic of discussion is 2019 Toyota 4Runner. This is my wife's soccer wagon, okay? Now the story behind this truck is she wanted it so bad she could taste it, all right? And I was trying to talk her out of it. Don't get me wrong. They're a great looking truck, and I know they've been around for years, tried, tested, and true, like, so they do check a lot of boxes, okay? But at the time I was kind of like, well, there's a lot of other options out there, like how about the Ford Explorer, right? I hate the way they look. I'm like, okay, look, I'm gonna break this all down for you. I said the Toyota 4Runner is kind of like the really good looking girl at the bar, okay? You go up and you talk to her and you realize there's like nothing upstairs, just a total bozo. Because the Toyota 4Runner pretty much comes with airbags, power windows, and AC. That's it. The Ford Explorer, on the other hand, okay, maybe not the best looking girl at the bar, all right? However, she parks herself. She's a great conversation. She's intelligent, right? All the bells and whistles, CarPlay, you name it. Anyway, I lost that battle. We got the 4Runner. Now, like I say, it's been a good truck for the most part, which is what I guess today's topic is actually all about. So, a lot of you know I live up here in Canada, British Columbia, Canada, and we actually have a law that come the end of October, you have to have winter tires on your vehicle, okay? It's a safety deal. Because if you're up in the top of the mountains of BC and the peaks and you get a crazy snowstorm, tires are gonna pretty much save your life. So anyway, we flip back and forth between summer tires and winter tires, and we do that on the stock rims. I don't have a tire machine at the shop, so I gotta farm this out to another shop in town to flip my tires around for me. Anyway, each and every time they do this, they come back to me with a little bit of a write-up of anything they might have noticed while they were changing the tires. So last fall, I get there, we get the winter tires put on, I get the write-up, and it says, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but your back brakes are shot. So I'm thinking, what is that all about, right? Now, this truck has 62,000 kilometers on it and or 38,000 miles, 39,000 miles, okay? Very, very low mileage. So first thing I think is, my wife's got to be driving around 2 feet, so I race home. What are you doing? You know, I get it, we live in hilly country, but there's better ways to get around, you're ruining the brakes. And she goes, I'm not, right? And I've ridden with her, she's a good driver, so I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not the case. But anyway, I bit the bullet, I put new pads on the back of this thing. Well, fast forward to about 5 weeks ago, we were a little late to get the winter tires taken off, but it went to the same shop, okay? Get the truck back, get the write-up. It says, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but all 4 corners, brakes are done. I'm like, this is getting crazy, okay? So, this is where I'm at. Now the shop never led me to believe that they were lying to me last time, okay? Like they told me the back brakes were gone, they were gone. I have not taken the wheels off of this truck to see if they are all gone, but like I say, they didn't lie to me before. I got no reason to believe they did this time. I do have pads to put on this thing, but where I'm going with all this is, I don't know if all of you other 4Runner owners out there are experiencing this or not, but like, this is wild. Like, no vehicle should be melting through brakes that fast. I don't care what vehicle it is. Maybe a 1-ton truck that does nothing but tow gooseneck trailers around up and through the hills, like, but this thing should not be going through brakes that fast as far as I'm concerned. So we're gonna try and get to the bottom of this today, and I'm hoping you guys can help me too, maybe in the comments below. Like, let me know if other people are experiencing this, because I don't think this should be happening. Right, so wheels are off and we got to do an inspection, but before we do that, I just want to establish a bit of a baseline. because I actually don't know what spec is on this, like what's in spec and what's out of spec, but I do have the new set of pads here. So I thought I'd get a measurement on them, roughly anyway, to see what brand new is. So let's call brand new 8.5, maybe 9 mils worth of pad, okay? So we'll scoot over and compare that to what we're dealing with on the driver's side. On driver's side, I don't think I'd jump up and down and say it's totally gone, but try and give you guys a bit of a measurement here. So inside pad is 4.62 mils. Outside pad is 5.63. So based on the brand new measurement, I mean, these are half, maybe a little over half gone. Now let's do the same for the passenger side. Okay, now you can see right away the inside pad on the passenger side here is definitely wearing way faster than this outside or either of the other two pads on the driver's side. So get a bit of a measurement here. Inside 3.92. Okay, outside 5.5. So I mean, yeah, I guess they're probably beyond half of where they should be. That inside pad is definitely reason for concern, and there's no reason to change just one pad. So I guess if you're leaning in on the side of caution and not trying to push your luck, a person would probably recommend doing pads in the front. Now, the real interesting one here is going to be the back, because like I said, there's not even a year on those pads, maybe 9-10 months. So I'll get these pads flipped around and we'll work our way to the back and see what we're dealing with. Okay folks, new pads are in, nothing too exciting to see there, but I did want to show you the pads that came off the car. So here's passenger side. This is that inside one that was real low. That's the outside. And then the driver's side, I'd say the driver's side probably looks to be in decent shape. You know, definitely worn, but now if I'm being nice to the shop that gave me this brake recommendation, I'd probably say that they were looking at this pad and going, you know what? Yeah, this one's rough, and anyone watching this done brakes knows you don't just buy, you know, the driver's side or the passenger side. You get a set of pads for the front or the back, and therefore they were probably like, well, if this one's that bad, you should do them all, and that's probably why they gave the recommendation they did. However, again, I'm really interested to see the backs because those pads aren't even a year old. So I'm gonna get the front down, get the back up, and we'll see what we're dealing with. Okay guys, here we go. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did on the front. So calipers off, let's get a baseline as to what new pads look like, okay? So here's the new pads. Roughly these things come in at, oh, I don't know, again, about 9.5 millimeters, okay? Let's see what these pads look like. So now, first and foremost, there's the pins that came out of the calipers, nice and clean. I mean, they could use a little grease, but it's not as if they're rusted up and stuck or anything, right? I have not touched those. They have not been wiped or anything. Look at that.
These pads probably have, oh, maybe 6,000 miles on them, maybe 7,000 miles on them. Like, geez, I don't even know if my caliper can get in there, quite honestly. So 3 mils. I'm not even going to bother measuring the other side. It's even worse. But so that's the driver's side. I mean, they're not, you know, on the steel, but they're definitely low. Same thing, right? That is nuts. So yeah, about the same here. 3.37, 3.4. Like, that's crazy wear. I can't believe that.
All right, folks, well, I'm gonna get after putting the rear pads on here. I won't bore you with any of that, but just to sum things up for you, these pads have like 7,000 miles on them, okay? And like 9 months or so worth of driving. There is no reason that those pads should look like that at all. I don't care what brand they are, nothing, okay? And I'm not gonna mention the brand, but these are not a cheap pad, okay? They're a very respectable OE replacement pad. So, I don't know, okay? Anyway, my ask is, if you're a 4Runner owner out there, okay, and you're watching this video, please comment down below and let me know if you're experiencing the same thing, or if you're not. I'd love to hear that as well, because then maybe I'm just the crazy one and I'm the only one experiencing this. But it always helps when you got a bit of a community behind you to get to the bottom of these situations. Maybe there's a bigger issue at hand. Maybe this is something Toyota's got to look into. I don't know. So anyway, thanks so much for tagging along, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.